Time it is Wednesday, February 25th. And to my surprise, I loved it when Congresswoman Ilhan Omar yelled back at President Donald Trump during the State of the Union address last night. I loved it. Normally, I'm on team decorum, but in this circumstance, I'm 100% on team Ilhan Omar. 651-461-9226. All day we've been listening to the moderates of the world tut, tut, tut on every congressperson who yelled out or said anything during the State of the Union address. And normally I'd be right there with them. I do think we've gotten too rude, too obnoxious, too performative. But you know what? When the president of the United States is standing up there during the State of the Union talking about Somali pirates ravaging Minnesota, screw him. Stand up and yell at him. I think it's fine. And I think a lot of us need to let go of this idea that we need decorum and we need politeness and we need this and that. And instead, we should just have honest dialogue. We should have people saying what they think. And we should have people standing up for what's right. Because if you're going to have a president who will stand up there at the State of the Union and attack our state, our neighbors, our residents, well, you know what? Stand up and fight. Stand up. Donald Trump's going to be the president of the United States for the next couple of years. Believe that's how that works. He was elected. He has the right to say whatever he wants to say. But the rules and the norms have changed. And I think it's time that a lot of us who prefer moderate approaches, prefer reasonable dialogue, I don't know, maybe I got to get over it. Maybe I have to get over it. And we have to deal with reality. And the reality is this is the environment we live in. This is the political environment we live in. And so yelling and speaking out is maybe all you have as an elected official. Is it going to solve anything? No. But should you be expected to just sit there and take it? I don't think so. 651-461-9226. Lindsey Brown is in for Dan Cook today.
Hi.
And Lindsey's going to play a little bit of the sound when the president referred to those Somali pirates. I am aware, and we've covered extensively the issue of fraud in Minnesota. That's an intentionally chosen phrase by the president, and I don't think you have to just sit there and take it. Here's a little clip from the State of the Union.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance.
So you heard Congresswoman Omar yelling, "That's a lie. You're a liar." And I got to be honest, I have no problem with it. 651-461-9226. Lots of texts coming in. Trump won the election. Get over it. So do you think people should just sit there, sit on your hands, be polite, and then protest outside the chamber? I don't know. I think the British had it right. Remember watching like the House of Commons when that used to be on C-SPAN on Sunday nights, and you'd have the prime minister up there and people would yell and jeer and tell them they're full of crap? I don't know. I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Let's go to Teresa from Roseville. Teresa, you're on the CCO Talk and Text line. What do you think, Team Omar or Team Decorum?
Well, Team Omar on this topic, but I just got to say, I listened to you on Chad's show.
Yeah.
And I challenge you on your grocery because I work at Trader Joe's in St. Paul.
Yes.
And we do have staples. We have the best produce, the best flowers.
You do have the best flowers. You have amazing flowers. There's no... I'm not anti-Trader Joe's, Teresa. I'm not anti-Trader Joe's. Don't get me wrong.
Well, now that you live in St. Paul, I challenge you to come visit us on the corner of Randolph and Lexington.
All right, very good. Thank you, Teresa.
Great intersection, Teresa. I'm a huge fan.
There goes Teresa. Dave from Minnetonka. Dave, you're on CCO. What do you think about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar yelling out? And this was, we're talking about the first time. This did come up a couple times during the State of the Union.
Hello, Jason. Thanks for having me on. Can
Sure.
you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
So
Go ahead.
I'm confused because I didn't hear the word pirate like you claimed earlier. And he talked about the fraud that is rampant, and
Sure.
it is rampant amongst the Somali community. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the 19 billion because I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nonsense. That's a nonsense number.
Yeah. So the amount, I think, is fraudulent.
Here's the soundbite if you want to hear it again. Here is the part at the beginning, and we'll just play the first part of it so you can hear it. Here's President Trump.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse.
He said pillaged in that one, but I'll find you that clip when we come back from break where he said.
I listened to it last night too, and I thought there was a lot of good with the way he honored a lot of people. With
Me
the
too.
And whatnot,
Me too. That stuff was phenomenal. The Olympic team, and then the war hero, the pilot. I mean, that was unbelievable.
I'm a little ticked about, his joke that he made for the women's team because my daughter plays college hockey and I'm very passionate about women's hockey. And
Thank you, Dave.
It's like, I guess we have to invite them now. It's like, I wanted to.
Yeah. It's
but back to the Omar. Help me understand this. What he was saying was that other than the figure amount, what was wrong about that?
Well, I think you're right. Look, I have no problem with calling out fraud in Minnesota. And for sure, the vast majority of people who have been convicted in fraud in Minnesota have been of Somali descent. And we've talked about on this show from a long time ago, like, I have no problem with people saying we have an issue in the Somali community in Minnesota with fraud. I have no problem with signal. I don't find that racist. But when you turn it into this, like, look at the track record of behavior. When you say the Somalis are pillaging Minnesota, well, like something like 80 some people or 60 people or however have been convicted so far. Like, I don't know. I think when you send in the ICE surge to go root out the illegals because you're upset about Somali fraud, like, to me, that is, it's.
Yeah, that was wrong too.
Yeah.
Totally. And to be fair to the Somali community, the ringleader of this was not Somali.
Right. Amy Bach. Yeah.
So,
it's just more complicated. It's more complicated. I think the number is what originally set this off. But I also think to a certain degree, some of this is like Ilhan Omar knew that he was going to talk about Minnesota. And everybody gets what they want, right? Donald Trump can be like, look at the wackadoo Ilhan Omar. And Ilhan Omar can say, look at this racist president who is coming after our community. Like, everybody got what they wanted last night.
Jason, at the end of the day, my opinion is our President Trump is the worst politician that we've ever had in the history of presidents. He does not he's not politically correct in any way, shape, or form. His business practices that he's done, in my opinion, have done good things. But as a politician, he's destroying politics. I don't agree with the way he goes about expressing his views. They're just harmful and hurtful, and it just divides us so badly. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate you. Stand by, Mike. Stand by, everybody. Lots of texts coming in. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
I'm with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Exclusions apply. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If the last real estate agent you hired couldn't sell your home, you need to call my friends from the John Schuster Group. Coldwell Banker Realty. Hi, it's Benita. The good neighbor agent goes the extra mile. John's marketing system helps him sell houses fast for the most money possible. Curious what your home is worth? John will tell you for free. Type in your address, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Drive time with DeRusha.
Please call into the Jason DeRusha Show.
Let's go.
If you have something to say to the people of Minnesota, say it on the radio.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
But when it comes to
All right, Lindsay is the DJ today because it makes you happy to pick out the song.
It does.
And so what is this?
This is called Lovers Only by Love Spells.
Lovers Only.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
I'm
basically
pro-love.
our audience's description, right?
Lovers only. That's all we have on the line right now at 651-461-9226. Our last caller wanted to hear the exact Somali pirate reference. And so I have that queued up. No, you got it? Here he comes.
we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly.
Just by finding
That's the kind
fraud.
of money you're talking
That's
about.
what he
we'll
said.
Balance our budget.
Okay, we'll see about
the
that.
Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception.
All right, so that
Importing
was
these
that
cultures through-
reference. to the Pirates. Mike from Woodbury. Mike, do you have a problem with Ilhan Omar yelling out a little more, some of the give and take that seems to be a little more common these days than it was certainly, well, maybe the "you lie" guy during the Obama speech was the first time we saw that, right?
Well, yeah, let me tell you, first of all, say hello to you, Jason, and hello to Lindsay.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm going to tell you this, though. I mean, I pretty much always try to maintain a sense of moderation, neutrality, etc. Though, but I'm not a huge fan of Ilhan, but nonetheless, I will say, hey, hats off to her for standing up for what was right. I mean, she knew that dialogue was coming, and she wasn't going to tolerate it. I mean, the woman is very brave and very cunning. I mean, good for her to be standing up for what she believes is right. I mean, and yeah, the president, unfortunately, he really just took that dialogue really to extremes. And I mean, it's something that no average human person would ever do anywhere, or ever elaborate something like that, whether it's at home, work, or in the work, or school, or et cetera, because that would tarnish someone's credibility outright or their livelihood. Where Trump, on the other hand, thinking, well, he's president, he's higher up. I mean, he has the kind of unlimited legality that he anticipates that he has while he's serving in office, which,
yeah. I
mean, that's just really inexcusable, and he should be better than that, because people in public service who behave like that, they'd be out of it. Oh, their careers would be done for.
Thanks, Mike.
Trump,
Appreciate
on the other hand.
Yeah, he gets to skate for sure. Yeah, and he's elected, so he gets to do that. That's part of the deal, and that's why I think maybe some of us who our inclination is to more moderation, to the old way of doing things, to decorum, maybe those old rules don't apply. Joel is in St. Louis Park. Joel, thanks for listening. You're on CCO. What do you think?
Well, I was going to go back one thing for your grocery store thing. Is that okay?
Sure, why not? We're playing random radio here. Wheel of topics. Go ahead. So let me explain it for people for people who aren't listening. Yeah. Well, give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me explain it for people who weren't listening 30 minutes ago. Chad was talking about a tweet that I sent out saying that, I was happy that Aldi was going to open a store in downtown St. Paul where there is no grocery store. But my bias is in favor of the Lunds and Byerlys, the Cubs, the Kowalskis that are union, that have a largely union workforce, because I like that when I go to the grocery store, like that might be a career for a cashier. So that was the background. Go ahead. What did you want to say about that?
Okay. All I wanted to say was that I work at a Lunds and Byerly store, and there is an Aldi's going in St. Paul.
Perfect. Thank you. Tim is in Maplewood. Tim? I don't know what's going on here. Lindsay, we got to oh no. Now Lindsay hung up on Tim.
There's too many buttons. Not my gumdrop buttons.
Lindsay, what are you doing to me today?
You
put two.
Here's Tim. Tim's
you
there.
put two callers on the air who wanted to talk about groceries.
Tim, are you there?
I am here.
Oh, thank God.
Tim, do you want to talk about groceries or the State of the Union, or I guess it's anything goes today?
Do we live in a vacuum here in Minnesota? And is it, the previous caller was talking about, Trump can say anything he wants. Well, can Democrats in Minnesota kind of get a pass on what they do because we're so blue?
What do you think? What do you mean? What do you think they got to pass on?
Just like Trump can, he's a lame duck president. He's not running for re-election. He kind of says what he wants.
Right.
Well,
it's part of the appeal, I think. It sort of gives the vibe that he's a straight talker. He's not a BSer like most politicians.
Right. But in Minnesota, don't you think that sometimes Democrats can just kind of do what they want, and they don't have to worry about elections because Minnesota's so blue that they're going to win anyway.
Maybe. I think they haven't had to worry about that in a while, Tim, because Republicans have put up such sort of extreme candidates, sort of out of touch with most Minnesotans. It may be different this time, right? Michelle Tafoya trying to position herself as more of a common sense Republican. We'll see if that makes a difference.
I think with Klobuchar moving out of the, running for governor, which is pretty much a slam dunk, that opens the door for Tafoya dramatically.
Yeah, very true. Thanks. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. I don't know what's going on today.
What do you mean?
What's happening
with the show? I think we're off to a great start.
I mean, the texts are amazing. We're all over the place.
Oh,
oh,
the text.
We got partial Aldi talk, hot Aldi talk. Are people more loyal to their political party or to their grocery store? Maybe that should have been the topic we should have done. Texters that are on topic. Yes, bring the House of Commons debate style here. I'd love to see it.
We got to bring the wigs. Not the party. We got rid of those a long time ago. But I mean the actual wigs.
The actual wigs would be great.
Don't they do that in Canada still? They have their wigs. You have to check the live cams in Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty sure they do.
I'm in favor of it. Another texter says, don't forget Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert yelling. That's true. I'm just saying, I think a lot of us are in sort of we're stuck in the George W. Bush, Tim Pawlenty era of politics. Where
You're right.
Where we think, it would all just be all right if members of different parties could just, go have a beer together.
Just get along.
They could just... And during the State of the Union, you should be respectful of the office. But I don't know if the office is respectful of us. And so I'm just saying that I've had a bit of a shift.
Have you had a transformative time? Because I feel like I'm in one of those times in my life right now, too.
Are you?
I am. I've done it enough where I know when I'm in it.
Have you had a transformation about what grocery store you like?
I think the last few years I've confronted where I put my money and what that lends support to.
Mm-hmm. See? Texter says, I don't have a political side, but I do have Aldi for life.
People swear by Aldi.
The Aldi lovers it's like a cult. I don't want to go too far, but it is. And I've gone because I'm like, man, everybody really loves it. And I go and I'm like, all this stuff is stacked up in boxes. It feels kind of crappy to me. Mm-hmm. Why are there pool noodles in the middle of the store?
It's like CrossFit.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
It's like CrossFit.
It's
a cult.
I need to gather myself.
They go in there. They know what they're doing. Just give me a tire and I'll flip it. I'll find everything I need.
I don't know if this show is going to stay on the rails or off the rails. Tracy Perlman is standing by. It's really in her hands. It's in her hands. Texter says, because of the State of the Union, we can't afford groceries. See, it all comes full circle. And I hate it when my grocery prices are so high. The next time I'm in the grocery store, I'm just going to start yelling. I'm going to start yelling at if the checker types in the code for cilantro when I've really purchased parsley. I'm going to stand up and say, you lie! Drive Time with DeRusha back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
If today got away from you a little bit, meetings ran long.
Before we leave, can I just ask a quick question?
Headlines ran wild.
This just in.
Our top story tonight, live at 11. Breaking news.
Now at 11.
Your social media feed is like drinking from a fire hose. And somehow it's already evening. That's why there's 830 on the go. 6 to 7 minutes. The stories everyone's talking about. The ones you missed without missing a beat. For everything you need to know, it's 830 on the go.
Thanks for being here today.
50 or older? This news is for you.
You need me to keep talking?
The CDC recommends
No, you're good.
you
We
get
got you loud and
vaccinated
clear.
against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got a multi-car crash working for 694 westbound. Make way toward Rice Street. Look for the left lane to be shut down. Also activity off to the right shoulder. Traffic is jammed. You come along West 694 and also from the ramp North 35W to westbound 694. So get ready for the delays there. Delays in place West 94 Minneapolis Riverside to Lowry Hill Tunnel. Eastbound 394 slows Worth Parkway to 94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, it is kind of a coldish day, but big changes coming tomorrow and Friday. Here is Chief Meteorologist from WCCO TV, Chris Schaefer.
We could see a few scattered flurries, most of that snow up in northern Minnesota overnight. 15 will be the low. Partly cloudy with a high of 40 tomorrow. That's back above average. Mid-40s likely on a breezy Friday. Now, we do chill this weekend with a pretty good chance of snow across southern Minnesota on Saturday.
Right now in St. Paul, Minnesota, the home of Grand Casino Arena, it is a beautiful sunny and 22 on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Take off the slow.
Tracy Perlman, what do you think of Lindsey Brown's new little music mix for you here?
I like it. I love when, Dan always plays Single Ladies because that's my personal anthem. And so the note just must say Beyonce because, like, if Josh is feeling it, I always get, like, a fun new Beyonce song, and I'm into it. I like Beyonce.
It's very nice. Very nice. Tracy is the Director of Communications and Marketing for Minnesota Sports and Entertainment. The team behind Grand Casino Arena and St. Paul River Center joins us from her office in St. Paul. Okay, how great were the Olympics?
So much fun. I know. We have 2 more years and we get to do it again. Summertime.
And then it'll be in L.A. So that's going to be outstanding.
So something I found out was the tickets over in Europe are apparently very accessible. Like they're what a sporting event should be costing. And I've heard you could go. It was very affordable. That's not going to be the case in California, and that bums me out. Like, I would love to see an Olympic soccer game or like a track event, a basketball. But I'm just going to watch on TV with my USA t-shirt on and all of our Minnesota athletes.
I know Sam goes to USC in LA. So he is hoping like he can volunteer or something at some way to be a part of it. Because
that's so smart. That's the best way to get involved in those events.
Yeah.
Volunteer.
Tracy, our first segment went a little off the rails with a lot of people weighing in on their favorite grocery store.
I am Team Aldi.
Team Aldi. What?
Yeah.
I guess I don't get it. Why do you guys like what? What is it? What am I missing?
I like it for the same reason that I like Trader Joe's. I don't need 50 different types of bread. I don't need 17 different types of ketchup.
Is this a single person thing where you like it's frozen pre-made meals or
no? Because I don't buy a lot of frozen stuff. In fact, I made a delicious soup the other day that was from scratch. Thank you. I think it's just, when I walk around those stores, I end up buying a bunch of stuff I don't need. And so it's streamlined.
Do you get a card? Do you put a quarter in the card?
I don't get a card. I bring
you
a bag.
don't get a card.
But I do bring my own bag. So I just put the stuff in my bag, and then when my bag's full, I'm done.
People are very passionate about their grocery stores.
Yeah.
And I've gone to Aldi a couple of times.
Yeah.
There's like a nice new one in Maple Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess I'm too picky. Maybe that's the issue.
I also think your food experience is a little different than the rest of ours. Like I'm fine. Like I buy a lot of generic brand everything. So like I'm cool with the Aldi brand. I don't need the special certain spices. I'll just kind of make things up as I go. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Also, I like that it's a little cheaper. With that, you get maybe not always as great of quality, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, save a little money.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I think people should go to whatever grocery store they want.
100%. You know
whatever
what?
makes you happy. I don't
when
care.
You're shopping, if you don't want to shop at Target and you would rather shop at a Nordstrom, then you do that. That's you. You
know what? Thank you
boo-boo.
for allowing me to live my life. I've had it's been about 24 hours of people telling me how wrong I am about things. So that's fine.
Sorry. That's because, well, you're a white man.
What?
Yes, Tracy. Yes, the root of the issue.
Yeah, the rebel loon feminist world has come for me. The rebel loon contingency is mad. It's mad. How are they going to square the fact that I said it was fine for Ilhan Omar to yell out? I mean, I'm a conundrum. I'm difficult to understand.
I don't think we need to yell at people when they're giving speeches. Just in general, I don't really care who it's towards. That's just me. Also, let's remember, I work at a place where people don't heckle. When you go to sporting events in Minnesota, nobody heckles. It's very uncomfortable.
Do you wish we had maybe more heckling?
I think it would make things a little more fun.
Yeah, I'm not opposed.
You also have to have teams that show up and play well, and not all of our teams do that always.
Fair. That's fair.
You can't. I'll say this because you can't be at Target Field heckling the pitchers from Detroit when they're beating you 6-2. It's not a great look.
So we don't have a heckling culture because our teams are terrible? Is that what you're saying?
I also think we're Minnesota nice. We'd be like, oh, gonna scooch past you there. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Today, because everyone, you know what people are loving these days, Chat GPT. Everybody loves the AI, the Chat GPT. Do you have people in your life who are bragging about like planning their vacations via Chat GPT?
I do have a couple girlfriends that use it to like, let's figure out what we should do Saturday. I'm like, check out the events page of a newspaper.
So,
I don't know if I'm any different though, because I'm like, I don't know. I saw this on Instagram. Like,
I know it's all the same, right? But I asked Chat because I have my newsletter that comes out every Friday. You can subscribe at jasonderusha.com, by the way. But I put a bunch of events and things that people could go to over the weekend. And for a while, I was asking Chat GPT, what are some cool free things that people can do this weekend? Yeah. And it would tell me all of the things that had happened the weekend prior.
Oh,
I'm like, you know what? This coming week, like you have to be very specific.
Like silly robot assistant.
Like, why would I be asking about what I could have done last weekend?
But like how is it going onto ChatGPT or I can't remember the Microsoft Copilot,
Claude Copilot?
Like, how is it any different than being like, "Hey Siri"?
Yeah, it's all sort of.
Alexa, tell me this and that. I mean, it's all just curating a bunch of information off the internet, isn't it?
Well, I did ask today for 4 hot take, non-political talkers for Tracy.
Yes.
And so here we go. Three. I'm going to do three
Are
of
we
them.
rapid firing these?
Rapid fire. Lindsay, you can weigh in as well.
Oh, thank you.
Number one, ChatGPT topic for this segment with Tracy. Dinner reservations are ruining spontaneity. The suggested hot take from ChatGPT: if a restaurant requires reservations weeks in advance, it's not actually part of real community life. Your thoughts, Tracy?
I would kind of agree. I would say like 80% agree with that. Like, I understand the need for reservations. I do think that they are important when you're trying to plan your life, but and for the restaurants themselves. However, I don't want to have to plan my dinner 4 months ahead of time just to get into a restaurant, or even 4 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah. Lindsay, dinner reservations are ruining spontaneity.
They're great when you need them, and when I don't need them, I don't think they should exist. I just got back from a vacation myself, and we had a lot of instances where we would go in and, just decide to go to a place because it happened to be on the street, and they asked me about the reservation. I feel a little judged when I say no.
I always feel that way, too. When they're like, do you have a reservation? I do not. And there's that beat. They take that beat where it's like, guess you thought you could just walk in, Mr. Hotshot. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
All right, topic 2. Side hustle culture is making everyone exhausted. Woo! That is a smoking hot take from ChatGPT, Tracy Perlman.
Can't we just work? Do we have to tell everybody that we're working and like how much we're working? Let me sit on my couch.
Lindsay Brown, side hustle culture making everyone exhausted.
I wish the economy would allow people to make a living wage off of one job, but we just haven't been there for a while.
Hot take. Not everyone needs a brand.
True.
I will tell you, I was worried that AI was going to take my job, but I feel pretty good about it so far with these two pretty pathetic hot takes. Number 3, adults shouldn't text each other all day. If it's important, call. If it's not important, it can wait. Woo! That's a scorcher. We needed some production value for this, right? Like some sort of, yeah. Smoking hot AI take. Tracy Perlman, adults
Don't
shouldn't
call me. Just because you texted does not mean I need to reply right away. It's like an email.
Lindsay.
I just think that a lot of people think that they deserve access to you at a moment's notice. So I'm firmly in the camp of, if you text me, you're not going to get a response right away. But maybe you will, but don't expect anything.
I'm assuming something's wrong if you call me.
Yeah.
And you're not like my boss.
Depends on the relationship.
I have one friend who calls, Allie Lucia, former WCCO morning traffic anchor. Allie Lucia calls, and what's funny is I don't call. And I don't know, a month ago, I just thought, I'm like, I should call Allie. She always calls. And I call, and she's like, are you okay? Like, that was the first question.
Right.
It depends on the relationship, doesn't it, Tracy? Because, like, if it's your mom or your family member, it's one thing. But if it's, like, someone random is like, do you need me to pick you up from a underpass of a highway somewhere?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if my best friend calls during the day, I'm immediately assuming something's wrong with her kids, her parents, her husband. I'm like, Timmy's in a well. What do you need? My coat's on.
Right.
What do you need?
Right.
And she's like, oh, I was just going to grab some extra dinner tonight. Do you want to come over? And I'm like, that's a text.
That's right.
My voicemail says, text me. I will probably reply faster.
Huh? No one leaves a voicemail anymore,
no, don't
do they?
leave me a voicemail. Unless you're driving, then leave me a voicemail.
You know what my hot take is? Everybody should just chill out. People can communicate however they want. Why does this bother people so much? You can call me. You could text me. You could send me a letter. I don't care.
Do you remember? Jason, did you ever have I paid for ringtones when I was in college?
Yes! I got one for shutouts. Whenever I got a shutout in hockey, Tracy, I got to pick out a ringtone. Chariot by Gavin DeGraw was a top hit on my phone.
So to this day, my ringer, if you call me, will be the Super Mario Brothers theme song. Okay? My phone is never on ring unless I am expecting an important phone call.
All right.
I don't even want to hear it vibrate. I want the universe to just like let me know magically.
I love this. So tell me what your ringtone is. 651-461-9226. I want to know what your ringtone is. And because I will play you my ringtone when we come back. I'm calling Tracy's phone right now. Let's see if she's telling the truth.
Hold on. I think my phone was on. Hey, call me one more time.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
Just the production.
My phone was on.
She just told you she doesn't have her phone on.
Put it again.
Look at that charming photo of you.
All right. Let's break. Oh, you stopped it. I was going to use that as our music pad. It was going to be, it's fine. You know what? This is just rehearsal. It'll be much better when we're actually on the air here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Today is the day for you to make a difference in your life, to make a change in your life. It is a day to reach out to my team, my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. It's Jason here for Livia. You know that Livia has absolutely changed my life. 45 pounds down. I've kept all that weight off. Today, I actually did a phone visit with the Livia Weight Control Center in Coon Rapids, visited with Michelle, who was amazing. And I check in every month, as I have now for 3 years. Livia does things differently. And that's why I really just want you to maybe start a conversation with the team at Livia and see how they can help you reach your goals. Spring is a chance for rebirth, renewal. Really changes everything. And for so many of us, weight loss has been it's just hard. It starts, it stops. For over 15 years, Livia has helped thousands lose weight. And the secret is physician-led care, GLP-1 options, personalized nutrition, and hormone support. All of it works together under one plan. Nobody's doing it like Livia. And you could be 15 pounds lighter this spring. So why don't you start that conversation today? Start with Livia. Visit Livia.com. You can book a free consultation today.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife. And dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Multi-car wreck working at West 694 as you make way toward Rice Street, blocking the left lane and also the right shoulder. Traffic is jammed and crammed as you make way into that stretch, including North 35 east. You come up from Little Canada Road, West 694. That slows almost as far back as Highway 61. And now Gawker delays in place as you come in eastbound past Highway 10. Joey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast time. It's going to be a big change tomorrow, 40, Friday near 50, and then the weekend stinks. How about that? Will be 23 on Saturday. That's the current temp right here in Minneapolis on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I mean, the truth is, I am a terrible influence on Minnesota, on America, and perhaps the world.
Well, I've known that for years, but other people are just finding out.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Drive Time with DeRusha with Tracy. We're talking about ringtones. What your ringtone is.
What is yours, Jason?
Oh, see, I gave Tracy a hard time, and now my phone's doing the same thing.
Do you want me
Lindsay,
to
call
you?
me back.
Oh.
I know.
I know.
I even took it off
Phone
mute. Why
logs
didn't
are
it
all
go?
messed up now.
You may
Why
have
didn't
to
it
turn up
go?
the volume. Yes, Linky.
Yeah. It's time to match the stars on the match game. That's the match game.
I do enjoy match game.
Family members get the Family Feud, and my wife gets the Price is Right.
Cute.
Which I don't even know how I set that up. Like years ago, there was some app that let you like slice up a thing, and
You could upload music. You could download stuff. I did have Ding Dong the Witch is Dead for when my mom used to call me.
now a texter says their ringtone is a clip of Steve Harvey announcing their family from when they were on Family Feud.
Oh,
Which is so cool. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's the McCosick family. That's pretty cool.
Bravo, McCosics.
Harry Potter theme for my family members, and a Minnesota loon call for everyone else. That's good.
Oh, that's a good one.
Who Can It Be Now is someone's ringtone. Yeah. That's pretty good. Standard ringtone is Ghost Riders in the Sky, but I have unique ringtones for all of my friends. That's pretty good. What's your ringtone, Lindsay?
I used to have a tone of a song, I Don't Care, with a word that I can't say on the air. And I kept it for 10 years. It kind of became a nostalgia piece for me because the youths have moved away from the ringtones. They just take the regular stuff that Apple just throws at us. But I think there's a little bit of personality to it. I used to do it all the time. Like I said, a lot of shutouts. I had a lot of ringtones.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Listen, when you're good, you're good.
Yeah. You just got to own it. I hear that you have to do that these days because nobody else will do it for you, Tracy.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You just got to step up and do what's right in your heart.
Ooh,
That's
Step
beautiful.
Up, great movie.
That's
and
beautiful.
soundtrack.
Good soundtrack also.
You guys are ridiculous. I think the youth are missing out with the lack of the ringtone, right?
Yeah, you get to show a little personality.
Yeah.
That was back in my pink razor days. You could just slam your phone shut.
Oh, the good old days.
I'd like to go back.
All right, one more topic that you sent me earlier.
Speaking of
Since
music.
we're talking about music and ringtones, there is a new program, a new promotion out from Liquid Death. Liquid Death. It is called the Eternal Playlist Urn. It is an urn. Do you want to hear a little bit of this? Oh, hang on. I'll give you a little sample.
Introducing the Eternal Playlist Urn from Liquid Death and Spotify. The first ever urn with a built-in wireless speaker. What's the worst part about being dead? You can't listen to music. Now you can enjoy all your favorite jams for eternity.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So what are you playing in the afterlife, Jason?
Right. I mean, it appears to be real. It's for sale for $495.
I believe I heard they only made like 1,000 of these.
It looks like, can I buy one?
Yeah.
It does appear. Yeah, look at this. It popped in. It looks like I actually could buy it. Do you think the station would reimburse me if I spent $495 for
Probably.
Probably not. What would I want to listen to in the afterlife? James Taylor. It'd be a little bit of James Taylor. A little bit, obviously Taylor Swift.
Duh.
Call Me Maybe, for sure.
That is one of your faves.
Yeah. How about you? What would be on your eternal?
Backstreet Boys Forever, which also means the afterlife.
Okay.
And obviously Beyonce.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Yeah. Lindsay, what would be on your eternal playlist.
Ooh.
It is kind of comforting. Like every once in a while I think about death. Like, is it just over or is there some sort of other kind of awareness?
I think about it in terms of like what you can't ever choose this. What would be the last song I would want to listen to before that?
Right.
But since we're going with a more expansive question in the afterlife, I definitely have to have like a lot of Florence and the Machine representation because it matches the vibe.
It's very
ethereal. Very
ethereal.
ethereal, a little witchy. Halsey's my favorite artist. So I have a lot of her. Yep. And so I want there to be a haunting after I'm gone. I want people to remember like the essence. You might not remember what I said or did, but the essence will linger.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. I'll visit yours if you'll visit mine.
Okay. Mine's a little more of a dance party.
Okay.
That's very good.
That sounds fun.
Very good. Tracy, this has been a very chaotic first hour of our show, and I've enjoyed it. I hope.
Let's enjoy it.
Yes, that's all you can do. And,
Bye, guys.
and I didn't ask you any hockey politics questions. You're welcome.
No, thank you. Hey, the Frost are back on the 13th. Boys
Yes.
are back on Sunday.
We had the general manager, noted hater of women, Jason DeRusha, had the general manager of the Frost on the show as well the other day. So it was good. I wish they were back earlier, though, don't you?
I know, but the 13th is going to be insane. So those tickets
6
you're gonna
gold medalists from the
Yeah.
Frost. So
That's
cool.
going to be a lot of fun. And then Sunday, the boys are back.
Yes, and lots
their
of fun
gold medals.
there as well. Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it. Tracy Perlman joining us from Grand Casino Arena. Local news is coming up. Will our next hour be as chaotic as our first? I sure hope so. Stick around.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Keeping you in the know and in the conversation. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Cuban Coast Guard says it killed 4 people on a Florida-registered boat. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
A Cuban news anchor read an official government statement.
Se detectó una lancha rápida infractora dentro de las aguas territoriales cubanas.
The statement says the speedboat was detected in Cuban waters with a Florida registration, and when approached by Border Patrol troops, some on the boat opened fire. The commander of the Cuban vessel was wounded. 4 people on the boat were killed, another 6 wounded and evacuated. The Cuban Ministry of Interior says an investigation continues.
Florida's Attorney General says local authorities are opening an investigation into the Cuba boat shooting. Another high-profile academic is resigning because of his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
After a review of his ties to Epstein, Harvard University says its former president and Treasury Secretary Larry Summers will resign from teaching at the school. Summers has been on leave since November. He'll leave the university at the end of the school year.
Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will testify before the House Oversight Committee starting tomorrow in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Questions are being asked about missing documents from the Epstein files regarding a woman's unverified accusation of assault by Donald Trump back in the 80s. Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia from California and ranking member of the House Oversight Committee.
Our question to the FBI and the DOJ is, why aren't the documents there? Why have they been removed? And Congress, under the Transparency Act and the subpoena, have a right to see them.
President Trump's nominee for Surgeon General faces tough questions from some senators. Physician turned wellness influencer and entrepreneur Casey Means tells Senator Bernie Sanders that she believes scientists should be open to studying whether there's a link between autism and vaccines.
I, as a physician, am very careful with my words, and I don't think it's responsible to say that we're not going to study when kids are getting many medications. I think it's important to just keep it on the table.
Means says she believes vaccines save lives. A new study finds almost a third of American adolescents has type 2 diabetes or prediabetes.
Researchers at the University of Illinois Chicago found boys are twice as likely as girls to develop diabetes, especially those in minority groups. Waist to height ratio was the strongest predictor of diabetes, not body mass index, which many screenings rely on now. The study cites obesity rates, sedentary lifestyle, and unhealthy diets filled with sugary and ultra-processed foods. The researchers warn the adolescent diabetes rate is on track to quadruple in the next 4 decades. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Vice President J.D. Vance says the Trump administration is pausing some Medicaid funding in Minnesota because of fraud concerns. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 24 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A major and violent Twin Cities drug trafficking operation being dismantled by the hour this afternoon. FBI interim special agent in charge Rick Ivanchek announcing the bust-up of a drug gang known as the Family Mob.
So far, our collective effort has seized 14 firearms, 6.5 kilograms of fentanyl, 2 kilograms of cocaine, nearly 800 grams of methamphetamine, nearly 200 grams of crack, 5 vehicles, and nearly $100,000 in cash.
He says at least a dozen suspects have been arrested following a flurry of search warrants that started being executed at dawn this morning. More are expected as the investigation continues. The FBI says hundreds of local and federal law enforcement officers have been involved in the operation, one of the largest in Twin Cities history. Minnesota U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen, meanwhile, says the fact that dozens of experienced assistant attorneys in his office have left in recent months is not impacting the handling of big cases like this one or another upcoming Feeding Our Future fraud trial in April. He says the office has the bandwidth necessary and continues to grow.
We're hiring at a good clip. We've got people who have accepted positions. We've got offers that are going out, and we're actually very gratified that we are getting extraordinarily high-quality applications from all over the country.
Rosen says the number of assistant attorneys dropped from 64 to 47 when he was appointed to the U.S. Attorney's Office last fall. He says they have 36 right now. As we heard on CBS, Vice President J.D. Vance with some news regarding Minnesota today.
We're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota in order to ensure that the state of Minnesota takes its obligations seriously to be good stewards of the American people's tax money.
This is Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and DFL lawmakers introduced a plan today to triple the number of state fraud investigators.
Our bill creates new penalties for Medicaid fraud over $100,000 and over $1 million. Right now, Medicaid fraud is attractive for scammers because the current penalties for stealing from a private entity are far higher than stealing from the government. And we're fixing that.
And Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar telling CNN today why she audibly confronted President Trump during his State of the Union address last night.
I think it was really unavoidable. The president talked about protecting Americans, and I just had to remind him that his administration was responsible for killing 2 of my constituents.
Omar referring to the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of federal agents during Operation Metro Surge. During his address, the president characterized immigration matters in the Twin Cities as a source of lawlessness and said Somalis were pillaging Minnesota. WCCO News Times, 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash has been cleared out of the way, West 694 near Rice Street. Still some slowing though as you come in from Highway 61. 394 eastbound jammed up into Minneapolis as you move past Highway 100. 494 eastbound near Penn Avenue. Crash on the right shoulder, keeping things a bit tight as you come in from East Bush Lake Road. If you're up on the north side of the Metro 10 westbound, actually right now looking pretty good between 35W and downtown Anoka. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The clouds will increase tonight. A few scattered flurries are possible. No accumulation expected as we fall back to 15. We are going to warm up the next few days. Partly cloudy with a high of 40 tomorrow, up to the mid-40s on Friday before we chill this weekend.
Mostly sunny right now, 24. at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Built on facts, powered by curiosity. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Today, I sat down to prepare my taxes. And it got me thinking about the most annoying things that we have to do as grown-ups. The worst part about being a grown-up. 651-461-9226. I spent my morning. Now, I have 15 side hustles. So it
Noted.
Doing my taxes is excruciatingly annoying. Excruciatingly annoying. But for me, one of the most annoying things about being a grown-up is taxes. Doing your taxes. It's not the amount that I pay. I'm not going like Tea Party on the bit here. I'm just saying, why do I have to sit down and find all of this information, and on every damn form it says this is the amount that's been reported to the IRS? If you know how much I'm paid, why can't you just send me a bill? Here's what it is. Why do I have to put in here's how much was withheld? I have to fill out on a form how much federal tax was withheld. And then I have to tell the federal government how much federal tax I've already paid. It's a lot. And I would think you know. And it is so annoying. I spent probably 3 hours today just getting my information organized and then like trying to find the charitable donations. Because as you know, I'm a giver. I'm a giver. And then you're trying to sort it out. You're looking at like the year in review from your credit card. And it's like, what is HRE Edina, Minnesota? It turns out it was hunger-related events. It was a donation I made at like Taste of the Tour or something like that. So I was
gonna say, what kind of shadow operation in Edina are you supporting?
Believe me, there were two things I had to Google where I'm like, I do not know what this is. Worst part about being an adult, 651-461-9226. For me, and am I too early on this? I don't know. I've got a guy. I've got a tax guy. Do you have a guy, or do you do it
I have an uncle.
Or a gal?
I have an uncle. Thank you for the equal opportunity there. Appreciate your hand. What's the worst that could happen if you don't pay taxes? Like, honestly, I know there's that you get in trouble. I have trouble wanting to fund things right now.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of like...
Is that a financial thing? Is that like a statement you're trying to make?
There's some moral injury behind it for sure.
You don't want to fund the
war. Which one? Keep asking. What's happening in our community? Like,
Yeah.
I know that it's not really a realistic thing because we're the only
Right.
nation in the world that says if you don't live here, we're still going to tax your ass. And so
Yeah.
I like to dabble in the what if I didn't and like how bad that could be.
All right, somebody weigh in. I'm sure we have a tax attorney.
Am I
going to
get in trouble for just talking this way? Have we devolved?
No,
that
I think
to
we're
that?
just.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like we're done. Aren't we done with the language police? I was in Florida for a week, so I feel like I can say whatever I want now. Like in Florida,
There's the language, but then there's your
no
like
guardrails.
opinion. It's tough.
Yeah, you can say. I feel like you can say whatever you want. Worst thing about being an adult: 651-461-9226. Nose hair, says a texter. So nose hair stinks, right? Nose hair stinks. I'm not a fan. You know what's worse than nose hair? Ear hair. Maybe that's another topic. Worst Worst spot in your body to find hair. Let's not do that.
Hair is a good thing.
Nose hair?
It's there for a reason.
I don't mind nose hair on a standard basis, but sometimes you get like a straggler. This is what happens when you get a little older. Ear hair, nose hair, annoying. Jason's very common for people to have tax circumstances that the IRS would not know about, like my charitable contributions. This texter wants to have control over what my taxable income to report is. If taxes aren't too complicated, use TurboTax. I do, and it's easy. For years, I did my own taxes. And now, like, I have my friend, Tim Vetcher, do my taxes. Now, I shouldn't say that because Tim Vetcher, I don't think, needs more business. There are not enough tax accountants out there. You might be shocked to hear that young people do not want to be tax accountants. Even though, like, you work really, really hard, really, really long hours, like 6 months of the year, and then you do get a significant amount of time where you don't have to work as much.
Is AI going to take it over?
Well, I just feel like the government could send us a bill.
They could. They could do a lot of things. They could send us a lot of things.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Kyle is from Robbinsdale. Kyle, I say doing taxes and paying taxes is the worst thing about being an adult. What is the worst thing about being an adult for you?
Yeah, just like, how do they know if you're doing wrong?
Yeah, I know. Maybe this is the year you should, inspired by Lindsay's thesis that maybe she's just not going to pay her taxes.
Well, actually, I did that. I got laid off for 2 weeks right after Renee Good was shot, and I went in on Monday. And that's okay. I'm back to work, but these things end again. The job will be done again, and we might not have work till school season's over. So, yeah, with having low paychecks, and I was just like, it's going to be a few months. I'm not going to fund this. I need to fund what I need to do here. And so I balanced.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't pay your taxes, eventually that catches up with you, and it's not great. I feel like it's not great. I don't know. I'm too much of a rule follower. But, I mean, the idea of like a little bit of tax fraud,
Yeah, I'll do it. Why can't we?
I mean, if the president thinks that we got, you got the fraudsters marauding our state.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's your turn, Kyle.
I did hear the argument against, if the Somalis did commit this much fraud, well, they've learned from the homeland here.
They learned from here. Yeah.
Right. They've done what we did, and but that's not the case.
No. Very good. Kyle, thank you. Yeah, we don't need to go there, really. Jeff is in the East Metro. Jeff, worst thing about being an adult? And or why do we have to file taxes? It's annoying to me.
Well, it is taxes is the most painful. And I had the opportunity 10 years ago to sit down with Senator Max Backus, who is the chair of the U.S. Senate Finance Committee, and Representative Dave Camp.
It's a pretty sick name drop there, Jeff, dropping the old Senator Backus. I talked to Byron Buxton last week. Is that what we're doing? I'm just kidding. Keep going, Jeff. I'm just messing with you.
And U.S. House member Dave Camp, who was head of the House Ways and Means Committee, they're on a tour to work on changing the tax code to make it simpler. And Max was getting towards the end of his term as a senator from Montana, and he said he got very frustrated. He used to be able to sit down at the kitchen table and do his own taxes, and it had become so complex he threw his pencil down and said it's un-American that Americans cannot do their own taxes. So they went through their different views on taxes to get the tax simplification. Guess what? They agreed on absolutely everything, except for one thing. The corporate tax rate was 35% at that time. Dave Camp, being conservative, thought it should drop to 26%. And Max Backus, more liberal, said 28%. And they chuckled and said, we think we can find the midpoint. They explained the problem with Congress and why our taxes are so complex is that people do not socialize in Washington. What they were trying to do at that time was organize beer and burger nights, where they would pull maybe 10 people from both sides of the aisle randomly to get them to socially interact and not just throw rocks at each other. The other thing they said is almost no one in Congress at that time understood the tax code. There was only 2 people at that time, this is 10 years ago,
right,
who actually were around for the previous tax legislation under Ronald Reagan. So that, and it's gotten worse since then, because what happens on both sides of the aisle, they're funded by billionaires on the extreme.
Yeah.
And if they show any signs of coming to the middle, it could dry up their honey, which is their campaign money. Hence, they don't come together.
Yeah.
But every time I do my taxes each year, it's more complex. I have paid tax preparer to help me with it. I get him very upset if I talk simplification. He said that is a 4-letter word to him, because whenever they say they're simplifying it, it becomes far worse.
Yeah, they make
he and his son run a tax practice. They had to go through 30 hours of training for the latest tax bill.
Woo! My goodness. All right,
And
very
so
good. Thanks.
It will become more complex over time. It won't get simpler.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Not everybody can drop a Senator Max Backus, senator from Montana.
Let alone somebody in the trenches about tax law. And
It's
all
pretty
the things
good.
going on.
Yeah.
It's an informed base that you preach to every day, Jason.
I'm just saying.
What a privilege you have.
How annoying must it be for our listeners when you actually know something about a topic to hear the boob on the radio trying to act like I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Very irritating, I'm sure.
Dabbler of many, master of none.
We're going to keep that going. More drive time. If you want to chime in on the worst thing about being and the texters, you guys, my listeners are either brilliant or hilarious. And I'll share the hilarious text when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, I want you guys to do me a favor. Do me a favor. Tonight or tomorrow, when you go to the grocery store or the butcher shop, I want you to pick up some Minnesota pork. Just, get a pork chop. Dude, I'm pouring my heart out to you on the radio every day. All I'm asking is like 2 bone-in chops, maybe a pork tenderloin. Maybe you want to make have you ever made a lob salad? Little ground pork, different Asian spices, so many ideas, so many ways that you can put flavor on the table, and you do it with Minnesota pork. 3,000 family farmers all over this state. My mouth is literally watering just thinking about the high quality, high protein, lean, delicious Minnesota pork that these 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation family farmers are working so hard every day to make sure is safe, reliable, sensitive to the environment. They're taking care of the people, the planet, their pets, their pigs. Feel good. Feel good about it. You need some inspiration? TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. But go to that grocery store and the butcher shop and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Hey, Adam Carter here, inviting you to join me November 30th to explore tropical Costa Rica with Colette. We'll stay in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, a place you have to see to believe, where trees grow to heights of 100 feet and the wildlife is abundant, from butterflies to sloths. Enjoy breathtaking views in Nature's Museum. Visit a coffee plantation to learn the history from the bean to the cup. Plus, relax in a resort on the most beautiful beach of Guanacaste. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details: flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Do not miss out. Call Colette at 866-436-6734 or visit WCCOradio.com to learn more. That number again, 866-436-6734. Let's go to Costa Rica.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Jordana here. Resolution or not, if you haven't made a plan yet, I'm talking about a life plan, an estate plan, a plan for, your stuff. I know you don't like to think about what might happen if something happened to you, if you became incapacitated or even worse. But you know what? You got to do it. If you don't have that will or living trust or a power of attorney or a healthcare directive, consider this your swift kick in the pants to get it done. And when it comes to estate planning, I recommend my dear friend, Matt Gutman. Matt has helped me so many times. I'm talking medical powers of attorney, plans for the kids when they go off to college, and his full estate plan for me and for Mark. He's done it for my family. He can do it for you too. He and his partner, Jamie Reff Wagner, will do an incredible job for you, and you will be happy it's done. Call Gutman Law today, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com. Peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, welcome to one of the most chaotic shows we've had in a while. Why not? Some of the fun. I feel like everyone is starved for fun. Like the world has felt heavy, right? We've had heavy stuff going on here in the Twin Cities. We couldn't even enjoy the Olympic men and Olympic women hockey gold medals.
I heard you're outraged.
I was not outraged, which was the problem.
Have you learned?
Have I learned to be more outraged?
Have you come into a new perspective?
I have. So let's talk about that. But before we do that, I want to pay off the tease. I said that our audience is either brilliant, as evidenced by the CPA who texted in that not filing tax returns could result in substantial federal penalties. 5% per month, capped at 25%, failure to pay penalty. And then you can pay, then it's like interest on top of it. He's seen people reach a maximum, he or she has seen people reach a maximum penalty 2 to 3 times for unfiled returns. So there you go. So they're probably not going to lock you up.
I did watch Catch Me If You Can on the airplane the other day, so I've taken some notes.
And then from the brilliant standpoint, in response to our caller who was name-dropping the senator that he was talking to, 612er says, I had a chance to speak with George Washington the other day, and he shared some very interesting information about cherry trees. So at any time, you are welcome to text in at 651-461-9226 with your comedy. So have I had a change of opinion? Earlier this week, in multiple segments on our Monday show, we talked about Donald Trump and the joke on the phone in the locker room at the Olympics. And we don't need to play this for you again. You've probably heard it, and you've probably made up your mind. I will say that I have been blessed with a lot of sort of new perspective. And I will say that the way I was blessed with that was full-throated obnoxiousness from people who were really pissed that I said that I was not offended by what the president said in the locker room. I thought it was dumb. I wish he hadn't said it, because now here we are 3 days later still talking about it instead of riding the high of how cool it was to have all these gold medal winners. I also said that I understood I'm not a woman. I don't have all these years of being sort of discriminated against or felt like I was less than. And so I did not expect, I wasn't trying to present my opinion as the right opinion. Or I also was not trying to say that anyone who had a different opinion from me was like being too sensitive or, any of that. So I will say this, through people's, one of the things you have to learn to do if you actually want to grow and want to learn from people who disagree with you is not get too distracted by like people being sort of dickish to you. Can I say that?
I think so. I'm not going to dump it.
But like people are very confident that their view is right. And if your view is different, you are wrong. You are part of the problem. You are misogynistic. And what I would say is that I think I was wrong in the way I was analyzing the situation. So one of the things that I try to do in this show is take a look at everything and every policy from President Trump on an individual basis, where I also said in the segment on Monday that I believe Donald Trump is an odious human being, that his history of misogyny is clear, that I'm more upset at him lashing out at women correspondents, which happens all the time. The smile more Caitlin Collins, ugh. Offensive, disgusting, demeaning, insulting, sexist, all of the things. In this case, because I was trying to take the thing individually and not take it in the context of the battle that women have been constantly fighting, to not be equal with male athletes, but just to be seen as legitimate and worthy of being an athlete. And by stripping the background out, I missed the point. Generally, I think it makes this show better if I take issue by issue instead of being like Donald Trump is a dump, he's a dummy, he's mean, he's awful. To me, I think it's more useful to be like, let's look past that because he's the president. What are you going to do? And let's look at the stuff. And I think in this case, it led me down to a too accepting approach on my side. And so I posted the video of our segment on Facebook and got like 300 comments. A lot of compassionate, interesting debate. A lot of emotional sort of sharing, which I really appreciate it. And then some people were being jerks and whatever. Like, that's fine. You're allowed to be mad at me and be a jerk at me too. But I do think like my sort of granular approach, which, look, it's not an interesting radio show if for 2.5 years I'm like, Trump. Not interesting. But in this case, stripping out the context had me missing the point.
You're just focused on the wrong thing.
Yep.
I think you're focused on the wrong person too, because like where my anger came from it and still reverberates from is not from President Trump and what he said, because I know that I'm not really going to like anything he has to say. I know a bad vibe when I see one. I know what a predator looks like. And when what bothered me were the players. What bothered me is that there was no pause to even really check what the president was saying. And I get it. You're in the locker room. You just want to go, like, there's emotions are high. But these are grown men who had apparently spent a lot of time with the members of the women's hockey team in the village, maybe leading up to it. I know, like, brands like Bauer, preseason, we're going to show off all of our new skates, and we're going to have Abby Murphy here, and then we're going to have it, like, we'll bring everybody in. That's great. You can still tell, though, where we'll just call it, there's still room for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that even as we go through today, because as far as I know, until I got on the show, the only person that had really addressed it directly, even looking towards some sort of apology, some sort of accountability, was Jeremy Swayman, who was the goalie that didn't even play.
Right.
And so just saying, like, we should have reacted differently in that moment, because in those moments, that tells me a lot more about your character than you saying, Jack Hughes, that the first person you thought of once you scored the game winner was Megan Keller. Well, I can understand, because Megan Keller did the same thing, overtime goal, even in the same area of the ice that Jack Hughes does. So, like, that's all great that's what you say when the cameras are on you.
Do you
when you're with the boys, Jason, how do you talk about it? And if things aren't going well,
do you think people should interrupt?
Something.
Do you think people should say something when it's the president of the United States?
I understand how loaded that is.
It's a lot to ask.
And I understand that.
But now's your chance to make it right.
Correct.
I think that's right.
And
can I play you what one of the women said today?
Sure, absolutely. Who is it?
This is Hillary Knight,
the captain,
who was on SportsCenter, asked about, like, hey, you guys had a relationship. Let's listen to Hillary, because this, I think, is the first. I've been curious what the women on the team had
for
to
sure.
say. Oh, is that coming out?
Here we go.
Here we go.
And I think that's being overshadowed by sort of a quick lapse. And, I think the guys were in a tough spot. So it's a shame that sort of this storyline and narrative is kind of blown up and overshadowing kind of that connection and genuine interest in one another and cheering one another on. We've had phenomenal relationships in the village and supporting one another on the world stage and also the professional stages. And I look forward to those friendships and, acquaintances sort of continuing in great fashion. And I think this is just a really good learning point to really focus on, how we talk about women, not only in sport, but in industry. Women aren't less than, and our achievements shouldn't be overshadowed by anything else other than how great they are.
It's a great answer from Hillary.
It's a great answer. That's a great answer.
And if you notice, this is the first time that I'm hearing it, and so you hear what you want to hear, and words stick out to you. She says the word lapse. She says the word teaching point. She's not excusing. She's not saying you just had a bad moment. She's saying that there was a mistake made, and it's an easy mistake to make. And I'll get into this later because I have it all written out for the enough segment. What time is that again?
5:35.
All right, so make sure you stay here until then, and then double down, turn on 2 radios at the same time so that we can talk to each other. It's just an echo chamber of us. That there are moments where you are expected to step up and be different. When you're a leader, when you're a representation, when you say that you're one of the good ones. And I know from my education and my experience in the world that once you get groups of 3 or 4, especially boys or men, together, people start acting differently. And it's very easy to just go along with what's said, but it's a slippery slope. And that's how easy it is that this entire thing can be lost. Like, I lost pride in them. I lost respect for them. I already don't have a lot of respect for hockey culture in the way that a lot of people interact with it.
And you played for a
long time. And I played and I
so
covered it. I was raised by it. I was a great acolyte for a long time. And you know what? They didn't give me anything back for it except for memories and a few concussions and a lot of great friends. But what friends are people that stand up and support you even when you're not in the room, even when people aren't like you or in the room, because that's your true measure of one's character, of what you do when people aren't watching. And they didn't know other people were watching at that moment. And as crappy as it is to be caught up in a really unfortunate situation, wrong was done. So apologize and take ownership of it so you can fight for another back check and not make the mistake later on. It happens.
Thanks, Lindsay, for sharing that. Lisa Radzek is going to join us in a minute, a local nonprofit partnering with Jessie Diggins to talk about eating disorders. We're going to talk about that new campaign in just a minute here on Drive Time with DeRusha.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Our job is to bring you the most compelling news talk on the dial. Your job is to listen and engage. You don't even need to apply.
I see from your resume there's a gap in your CCO listening. Can you explain that?
Well...
Look, this position requires someone passionate, someone committed to tuning in and taking part. I need to know if I can count on you.
Look no further. I'm your man, or woman. I'm your fan.
We're looking for more listeners like you to become super fans of News Talk 830 WCCO. Are you up for the role? WCCO is an equal opportunity radio station.
Roses are red, violets blue, honey's sweet, but not as sweet as the deals Borofka's has for you. Up to 24-month, no interest, no down payment financing. Free metro delivery with the purchase of a furniture protection plan. And free furniture cash with a donation to the local food shelf.
Through March 2nd.
Deals as sweet as honeydew vine water.
Oh, Jim. Borofka's. No gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing.
Minnetonka, Woodbury, and Burnsville.
Decidedly
sweet.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash clear. Good news there. 494 eastbound near Penn Avenue. Still some slowing. Those are coming in from the Bush Lake Roads area. North 169 slows into Anoka as you come up from Highway 610. West 94, a little bit of a congestion spot between 169 and Weaver Lake Road. North 35E. Yep, got some slowing there. 94 up the Little Canada Road. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, let's get you up to date. Big changes in the weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We could see a few scattered flurries, most of that snow up in northern Minnesota overnight. 15 will be the low. Partly cloudy with a high of 40 tomorrow. That's back above average. Mid-40s likely on a breezy Friday. Now, we do chill this weekend with a pretty good chance of snow across southern Minnesota on Saturday.
All right, it's 4:40 here on Drive Time. It's Jason. Dan is in Florida helping out Vanita doing the morning show. We're talking a little bit about the Olympics. And our next guest is here with some news and information about a new campaign trying to draw attention to eating disorders. Eating disorders, man, just about every family, everybody listening, has had someone in their life where it's been a challenge, where it's been a problem. And Lisa Radzek is with us from a nonprofit called With All. Lisa, it's good to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so glad to be with you two.
Tell me, first of all, and we'll get to how Jessie Diggins is partnering with you guys, but tell me what With All is.
Sure. We're a not-for-profit. We're based here in the Twin Cities and have a lot of engaged and supportive volunteers and supporters here in the Twin Cities. But we serve a national audience. In fact, sometimes an international audience with our two separate programs. One is about helping adults help young people as they're growing, learn how to feel good in your body and with food, so that we can prevent things like eating disorders from developing in the first place. And our other program is for folks that are dealing with an eating disorder but have financial need while they're in treatment working to recover. We give grants for folks that are in that situation and really help keep them on the path to recovery so they can kind of get back to life. So those are two different areas.
Talk to me about the Jessie Diggins connection and why you guys are partnering up.
Yeah, well, Jessie, right away when she came out in 2018 to sort of share with the world, and to be clear, this is part of why so many of us have Jessie as or she's a hero to many of us. She came out in 2018 to share with the world when she didn't have to, her experience battling an eating disorder, and just put a face on it in ways that no one had before, and continued to talk about it and name the realities of what it means to have an eating disorder as she's on, the gold medal podium and as she's winning race after race and other trophies. So just so generously sharing that spotlight with so many of us who have had eating disorders or have them.
It's pretty vulnerable in that where you're seen in this position of strength. You're in this hyper-competitive athletic world, and to say, you know what, I have been struggling.
When most people, for very good human reasons, would keep that to themselves, to protect a brand, to survive, all the good reasons you can't judge someone for.
For sure,
but
totally
To
understandable.
be that vulnerable,
right?
and put her brand out there like that, it's been just incredible, and she's continued to share and be so open and vulnerable about how hard it is to have an eating disorder. Frankly,
how big of a problem is this in youth sports?
Well, it's to be sure, it's a problem everywhere. There's a greater prevalence for athletes. There's a greater prevalence with eating disorders for athletes, for sure. Youth, with all, we're always thinking about young people, including young athletes, because some of these earliest issues that form into an eating disorder start so early. So early. We start to identify ourselves as having a body different than others at like 18 months, right? And so how we as adults are talking about body and food around kids is so much more impactful than most of us realize. It really is setting a kid up to sort of be at odds with their body or comfortable and at home in their body. And so that plays into youth sports, right? Because as athletes, and I happen to be an athlete myself, we are our body so aggressively as athletes, right? Our body is our tool. And how we talk about bodies in sports and how we talk about fueling in sports. These things with young people can become particularly important as we think about these things and what direction we want to take kids with those two different things.
I'm going to get a little honest because I have an eating disorder and I'm actually actively in treatment for it right now. And I was a former athlete as well. And that those signs early on are certainly there. And once your career ends, they don't really give you a booklet on how to deal with all of these leftovers. There's a lot of different leftovers. But one thing that comes up in my mind a lot is about optimization and how there's like this pull, at least just to do the right thing with the least amount of energy possible. Can you speak to that in terms of what we see in kids and how those attitudes are kind of shaped by the culture, by that striving to be the best? Because I think we don't realize how much we truly learn from those outside messages and how a lot of times they're incentivized.
Yeah, and making sure, first off, thanks for sharing, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Second off, you mean when we're pushing kids like win at all costs, and it's about the win, and it's about performing your best, and here's how we have to do that, and putting the intense pressure with particular foods, particular know, exercise regime. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so. There's like a element of like dehumanization where you only gravitate towards what's best for you instead of just being what is or what's available to you.
Mm-hmm. Or you mean in like if a coach or a person you look up to in sport is like this is the thing, without any reflection on, okay, I'm talking to Lindsay, the person, a unique individual, what might be best for her, instead of the headline simple fixes or the easy like, oh, it's got to be. I go to like 4,000 milligrams of protein, no matter what, Lindsay.
It's so hyper specific so early.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I always think about as a parent is, and I say this to everybody, sometimes it's not always clear to me sort of what we're all racing towards, where we're pushing our kids towards. Sometimes I think we lose sight of really it's life that we're doing here, right? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we think like if we do just the right club, or we do just the right training regime, or we do just the right, if I as a parent do that or a coach do that, it's going to give my kid a chance that they otherwise won't have. So that's why we have to follow all these rules just so. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
I think so. I just think that like it creates this mindset that you have the control, and if you don't reach it, it's something that you've done wrong or something that you didn't do that to the degree
Right.
that was necessary.
Right. And I'm sure you've had this experience too when you talk with, like I talked with Jessie Diggins' mom one time, or I've talked with, Division I athletes. I'm sorry, I don't know what your experience was, but it's so funny to me because when you're talking to folks who have had that experience with their youth, it's so very clear, very obviously when you have an Olympian on your hand. When you're talking about what was it like, when Jessie was in 8th grade, where I think that was so helpful to me as a parent because it takes a whole lot of pressure off that idea of, well, wait, just get her in the right, 2-week weightlifting class, right? It's like that's not what makes these kids are just wired differently, and they need additional support around that. And I think that's something a lot of us maybe don't have insight into is how different some of these athletes are genetically from the get-go.
Well,
right?
one of the stats on your website talks about how eating disorders impact young athletes at the same rates as concussions.
Yeah,
think about that. That it's
That's a big stat.
3 times more likely for athletes to develop an eating disorder than non-athletes. It's a part of eating disorders that I think a lot of us, especially parents and coaches, are still stuck in this mentality that it's like the Instagram model wannabe type situation that an eating disorder is, where it may well be your youth hockey player or your youth soccer player or gymnast or wrestler or whatever.
Yeah. And what I always say to folks that I think this is the statistics. Sometimes statistics aren't helpful. At least 94% of the time, you won't be able to tell the person has the eating disorder by looking at them. The number of people that have eating disorders that are actively suffering where they look not only fine, but maybe one of the healthiest, happy people you know. We think it's, some of us were raised with the image of Karen Carpenter, and then some of us, we had Demi Lovato. So we have these ideas of this is what it means to be sick with an eating disorder. And yes, there's some of that, but it's so rare compared to the rest of us and our experience with an eating disorder, right?
One of the things, and you can there's so much information at withall, just WITHALL.org. And you guys have free training programs for coaches and so really talking about this, but the partnership with Jessie Diggins is really designed to, there's a fund that you've created, right? The Jessie Diggins Recovery Fund that just launched today, right?
Just launched today because it was going to launch over the Olympics, but we learned there's all these
a lot of rules,
terrifying rules the Olympics had, so we couldn't launch it over the Olympics. But here's the cool part that a lot of people don't realize unless you're a fan, like many of us are, I guess. They keep going, right, for their World Cup season. So Jessie has 4 more weeks of racing, which is to me just mind-boggling after you watch what they do in the Olympics. Now they keep going. So she has 9 more races left here from now till March 24th, 5th. And then that will be the end of her professional racing career. So we want to send her off with this, just to say, yes, all the medals and the awards and she's earned them all, right?
Yep.
But the thing that gets overshadowed by that is this thing she's done for us who have had or have an eating disorder, to give this sort of brave dignity to it that just most of us hadn't seen that before. We have shirts on our website, Brave, Kind, and Fierce, and it's Team Diggins on the back. There's she inspires the heck out of so many of us, and just want to show her how much we appreciate that. And she even said it really means a lot to her that we're doing this, and she donated to the campaign yesterday.
Cool.
To give at least 26 people this recovery support grant that we talked about in her name, and helping those folks stay in treatment and stay on the path to recovery. So that's the goal of the campaign. And
26 grants for people seeking eating disorder treatment is the goal. $13,000 for the Jessie Diggins Recovery Fund. Yes. It's right on the homepage, withall.org. Dig deep for Diggins.
Yep.
I just think it's terrific. And it's really important for people to, I think parents and coaches, you worry so much about saying the wrong thing. And saying the wrong thing is not great, but saying nothing is worse. And so...
Except for when someone has an eating disorder. This is the one thing I wanted to say about sometimes with food and body and not knowing what to say about what's supportive and what's not. The best thing is to say nothing.
To say nothing in that scenario,
But if you're
for sure.
when you're concerned,
The concerned was what I
is
was
to
talking
say
about,
something,
for
yeah.
sure.
And you were saying that. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally agree
Absolutely.
with that. Really glad you came in. Love the effort.
Thank
Lisa
you.
Radzek, with all. And dig deep for Diggins. Very good.
Thank you, Jason and Lindsay, so much.
Yeah, Lindsay, thanks for sharing. 4:52. We're late. We're late. Let's break. Back in a minute on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I'm just going to give it a big fat.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You should never have to wait months on end for your home to sell, and you shouldn't ever sell it for thousands less than it's worth. It's Vanita here. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, routinely sell houses fast and for the most money possible. Walter and Adele sold their house with the Good Neighbor agent. They learned a lot from this whole process from John at one of his home seller seminars. John's advice and his marketing system made a big difference for them. It only took 5 days for John to find them a buyer willing to pay thousands over the asking price. It was wonderful. John can still give you all the same advice he gave Walter and Adele, even if you missed his seminar. You can learn what your home is worth. It's an important part of the process. Learn what your home is worth in seconds. Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Eastbound 394 jammed up 100 to 94. West 94 into downtown Minneapolis. Get ready for your slowdowns there as you move past Huron Boulevard. East 94 into St. Paul. Not too bad. Some slowings make way toward Marion Street. Traveling 169 northbound. And a little bit congested around Bass Lake Road as you head up to 694. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast is cold tonight, but then things change tomorrow. Tonight's low is 11. Tomorrow, 40. Friday, upper 40s, maybe 50. Saturday, 23. Ugh, is what I say about that. Right now, it's 23 on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, good stuff there. All of this is always available on podcast. We had a crazy 3 o'clock hour, our first hour. So if you missed it, wherever you get podcasts, just search Drive Time with DeRusha. We had a first segment that somehow talked about Ilhan Omar yelling during the State of the Union and also had people yelling at me for not liking Aldi enough. People are very passionate about their grocery stores. We should have done a whole segment on groceries.
Next time.
Tomorrow's the new day. That's a segment that doesn't go anywhere, right? It's always available for you. I should keep a list, sort of the go-to topics that you can always come to. Maybe for you, you'd file it under Enough. Today is Wednesday. We have our Enough segment coming up in 30 minutes. So if you don't want to wait or can't wait, send us a voice message on the Odyssey app right by where you listen live to WCCO Radio. Click the microphone. Tell us what's bugging you. CBS News is next.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
Life is full of moments, including difficult and disruptive ones like a cancer diagnosis, which is why the groundbreaking work of Stand Up to Cancer is so vital. They bring together top minds from different fields to find new and better treatments so patients can thrive. Please join Stand Up to Cancer and Myrtle Beach to help families get back to where they belong, making new memories for years to come. Go to standuptocancer.org to see how you can join the mission.
When it happens there, you'll hear about it here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeart.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Cuba's Interior Ministry says its Coast Guard off its north coast has killed 4 people aboard a Florida-registered speedboat. CBS's Christian Benavides.
There were 10 people overall on board this speedboat. What the Cuban government has said is that border guard members approached the speedboat, asked for an ID, and at that moment, those who were on board the speedboat opened fire on the border guard members, and the border guard members returned fire.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. will investigate and respond accordingly. Vice President J.D. Vance says as part of an aggressive crackdown of misuse of public funds,
we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota in order to ensure that the state of Minnesota takes its obligations seriously to be good stewards of the American people's tax money.
Feds say they'll hold off on paying $259 million in Medicaid funding to Minnesota, which is the health care safety net for low-income Americans. The U.S. and Iran are set for another round of nuclear talks in Geneva. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
While the two sides have ratcheted up the rhetoric and military posturing, Iran's foreign minister says he believes progress is possible.
I think a fair, balanced, and equitable deal is achievable, and we can do it.
Still, he indicated Iran is not willing to give up its right to a peaceful nuclear program. President Trump said last week he was willing to give Iran 10 to 15 days to make a deal.
We now know whose medical problem forced the return of 4 International Space Station astronauts in January. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
Astronaut Mike Fink says he was the crew member aboard the International Space Station who had a medical condition of some sort in January that required him and 3 crewmates to make an early return to Earth. NASA never identified the crew member in question or disclosed what might have been wrong, because of strict medical privacy guidelines.
Fink says he's doing very well and continuing standard post-flight reconditioning. A big recall involving some BMWs, some of its most prestigious models.
Nearly 59,000 BMWs, including the flagship 7 Series and several electric vehicles, have an issue with a wiring harness in the air conditioning. It can short and cause a fire risk. The vehicles involved are from the 2024 through 2026 model years.
I need you tonight. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces its 2026 list of nominees, which includes In Excess, Phil Collins, Lauryn Hill, Shakira, and Iron Maiden. The final class will be revealed in April. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly clear, 23 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. As we just heard on CBS, Minnesota back in the Trump administration's crosshairs, this time when it comes to Medicaid funding. Vice President J.D. Vance announcing the administration is temporarily halting an estimated $260 million in Medicaid funding to the state over fraud concerns.
First of all, the providers on the ground in Minnesota have actually already been paid. The state has paid those providers the money. What we're doing is we are stopping the federal payments that will go to the state government until the state government takes its obligations seriously to stop the fraud that's being perpetrated.
Vance making that announcement alongside Dr. Mehmet Oz, who heads the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Oz says they have notified the state, said they will give the money, but only after the state proposes and acts on a comprehensive corrective action plan. He says Minnesota and Governor Tim Walz have 60 days to respond. Federal and local law enforcement leaders announcing a successful joint operation today, resulting in the drug trafficking arrests of multiple Twin Cities gang members. Rafael Matei is Assistant Special Agent in charge of the DEA.
This gang ruled by intimidation and violence, spreading poison throughout the Minneapolis community.
The bust-up of the family mob gang follows months of friction between federal and local law enforcement over the investigations of the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
It demonstrates the power of our partnerships when we are working together.
Authorities say at least 12 members of the family mob gang have been arrested so far, and the operation is ongoing. A former Hennepin County judge sharing his thoughts today on the difficulties involved in setting bail amounts in the aftermath of a double fatal shooting on Monday.
Eddie Duncan posted bail on Sunday, and Monday was released. Within hours, he allegedly killed 2 family members in North Minneapolis. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty defended the case, saying her office had asked for a higher bail amount, but in the end, the judge set it at $35,000. Retired Judge Kevin Burke on the weight of that decision.
You don't have much information. You can't keep everybody in jail.
He told WCCO's Chad Hartman it is every judge's nightmare.
You set bail. It seemed like a reasonable number. The prosecutor had agreed with you, and then allegedly the defendant goes out and kills 2 people.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota's largest Level 1 trauma hospital is in need of a transfusion of money. Leaders with Hennepin Healthcare and Hennepin County going before a Senate committee today to ask the state to approve a 1-cent sales tax for the county that they say could cover the costs. They say the hospital has already cut $50 million and will need to cut $150 million more to stay afloat. WCCO News Times, 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash for downtown Minneapolis on 94 eastbound as you make way toward Nicollet. The activity off to the right side. Get ready for your slowdowns coming down from Highway 55. West 55 slowing as you make way toward Penn Avenue, heading up toward Worth Parkway. Eastbound 394 is plugged up as move between Park Place Boulevard and downtown Minneapolis. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Gutman Law, wills, trusts, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The clouds will increase tonight. A few scattered flurries are possible. No accumulation expected as we fall back to 15. We are going to warm up the next few days. Partly cloudy with a high of 40 tomorrow, up to the mid-40s on Friday before we chill this weekend.
Mostly clear right now, 23 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Asking better questions, getting better answers. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, it's Wednesday. Still a little on Florida time. I didn't get any tan down in Florida. You know, I'm not going to get a tan. You guys know me and my good friend, Dr. Mohiba Tureen. If I came back with a big old tan or a big old sunburn, I would be in so much trouble. Do you ever have somebody in your life that I mean, it is sort of remarkable. It is the influence that my dermatologist has over me that I'm on the beach in Florida thinking, man, Mohiba's going to be ticked if I can come back all fried. Oh, my goodness. Good to be with you today. Last night, my wife and I tried, instead of sitting there watching the State of the Union together, because honestly, what a lovely romantic moment for my wife and a talk show host to be sitting there watching the State of the Union, taking notes. What am I going to talk about tomorrow?
Holding hands.
Instead, we went to the Emerald Lounge on West 7th Street in St. Paul. She had a martini. I had a penicillin. And we came home and the dang thing was still going. The State of the Union was still cooking. Like, ugh. And she went to bed. She's like, good luck. You enjoy it. I got to see, arguably, there were two parts of it that I think if you didn't enjoy these parts of the State of the Union, you're a monster. Having Olympians come in and you can apply whatever politics you want to it or whatever reaction you want, and your feelings are valid. But my feelings were a sport that didn't have a gold medal since 1980, to have so many of those players in what has to be an amazing moment, right? You're in the Capitol at the State of the Union, massive standing ovation from every elected official at the federal level is pretty cool. And then at the end, and that was the part I came home from, those two American heroes honored with the Medal of Honor. That was just, it's very emotional. Navy Captain Royce Williams and Army Chief Warrant Officer Eric Slover. Slover, who captained that sort of, he was planning the helicopter mission to capture Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, and just seeing him come in and looking like you want a military hero to look. Like he didn't really want the attention. It was like a little much. Pretty cool. All the stuff in the middle, that's where we start the D-Rush Hour News headlines. We call this segment The Lead.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour headlines, starting with The Lead.
And today, both President Donald Trump and U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar are getting exactly what they wanted from the State of the Union conflict. The representative, Ilhan Omar, at one point yelled at the president saying he was a liar, and then at another moment yelling about his administration killing Americans, referring to Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Here is the moment where Donald Trump discussed fraud in Minnesota.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe.
Ilhan Omar yelled, "You've killed Americans. You should be ashamed," at one point. We should say that $19 billion statistic is not supported by facts. $19 billion does incorporate the entire social services budget in these areas, and there certainly is significant fraud. I'm not one. Honestly, the numbers game of this, I'm not that interested in. If you got $1 billion of fraud in Minnesota, that's a crap ton of fraud, right? I do wish the president of the United States could be relied on to give real numbers instead of the most dramatic numbers that he plucks out of wherever, who knows. But the reality is, Republicans listened to this speech. Democrats didn't. Everybody today consumed a bunch of clips. If you hate Trump, you got what you want. If you love Trump, you got what you want. Does the State of the Union really move the needle much? We'll talk with Lois Olson about that in just a couple of minutes as we go in depth. Next, we talked about this story last week. A Minnesota content creator who created a very popular series of videos on social media called 1 Minute Tours. He picked up and left Minnesota, disappearing from social media for about a month while Minneapolis and St. Paul were going through a massive surge of immigration agents, a massive effort to stand up for their neighbors and for their cities. And then 1 Minute Tours guy emerges in Australia saying, my wife and I decided to move out of the country because of the Annunciation School shooting, and we don't feel safe in Minnesota sending our kids to school. The backlash was swift. People accused him of essentially, and myself was one of them, who said we do not have a lot of interest here in Minnesota with people who use our state as a set for their social media videos. Today, John O'Sullivan posted a video apologizing to Minnesotans.
That's the video that I posted last week. And I want to be honest with you that it's been a struggle for me to figure out how to address this because I felt so overwhelmed by it. I've never made a video that caused such a uniform reaction. And I've been reading the comments and the DMs, all of them, probably to a fault. But I think that what I've come to realize is that the video that I made, it framed Minnesota as uniquely bad when I was trying to make a point about the nation. It also looked like I was crapping on the place that had supported me on my way out the door and made people feel betrayed by someone who had been such a booster. And I have been. I've loved Minnesota on my channel. I always will. My first 23 years were spent there and the last 5 years as well. And so the idea that all that was inauthentic has hurt a lot of people. And I feel shitty about that. I feel I've been rendered speechless, which is an unusual.
So that
position.
is John O'Sullivan apologizing to Minnesotans. You know, whether Minnesotans accept that or not, I don't know. But it is, I know John. I do not think he was inauthentic in his love for Minnesota. I do think he misread how hurt people in Minnesota would be that a guy who made a living by telling videos and telling our stories would then sort of take a dump on us and say like, I'm out. You got to do what you have to do for your family. But like if I picked up and moved, like if I went silent and didn't say anything about moving before I moved and then just showed up and expected you guys to be thrilled that I've moved to St. Louis, and I said I moved to St. Louis because I didn't feel safe in Minnesota, I would fully expect that you would destroy me, and you would be correct in doing so. So pretty interesting social media kind of explosion there. One other thing I want to talk about today, and that is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has released its nominees, the finalists, for the 2026 class for the Hall of Fame. And Lindsay, who is a music junkie, has pulled some clips. Now, I don't know what you've pulled. Let's see if we can identify the artist based on what you've pulled. But the finalists include, it's a varied group, to say the least. And if you are old and you are like, rock and roll is not this Lauryn Hill, it's not Sade, what I would say is stop. Just stop it. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's like music in general. Basically, it's like anything but country. Right? That's about it.
And that's how I would like to remember music as well.
Anything but
yes.
ABC?
Yep.
Anything but country. Here is a clip from one of the nominees. Oh, yes.
This is how I learned about the existence of Phil Collins.
Really?
Yep. This was the introduction.
And this song was from Tarzan. It's a good song.
It's a banger. It would go on my Earn speaker. It would probably go on my Earn speaker.
Call back to the first hour. If you want to get that joke, you have to look at the podcast. Drive Time with DeRusha. All right, that was very good.
That was just the first song.
I like Phil Collins. Rock and roll. What do you think of the great rockers of all time? It's Phil Collins.
There is a TikTok going around in the last couple of days about giving credit to Phil Collins for selling out stadiums in the 90s dressed as, I think, a math teacher.
Yeah.
The costumes really aren't his thing, but he could teach you algebra, too, if you needed.
8 Grammys, 2 Golden Globes, an Academy Award. I mean, come on. Very, very good. I'm a fan. All right, next clip. Here we go. Is this Shakira? Is this Shakira?
Duh.
Yeah.
She's an automatic bid for me.
There was a moment of my life that was very dedicated to those hips, to Shakira. What was that?
That's a omission of a
is
personal
that
thing.
scandalous?
I mean, you're not the only one.
Right.
I mean, she did the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with J-Lo. You remember that?
Shakira and J-Lo, if you had to pick my 2 dream women, I think that's the combo.
Yeah. You're going to get me in trouble. Shakira's awesome. She has so many more songs, too. I could have gone easy, like Hips Don't Lie. I could have gone... I could have gone really in the early catalog there, but she's just found a way to stick around and be relevant for a long time, and especially as a predominantly speaking Latin artist. I know Latin music is certainly everywhere right now and having a moment, and it's long overdue. And, she's built on, a lot of other artists, just like how Bad Bunny has, but she's definitely up there in terms of like all timers that have staying power.
Sold over 125 million records, 4 Grammys, 15 Latin Grammys. All right, one more before we get to
this is a real deep cut. Again, like when I wrote in this, I said that so deep you need dermal sutures, and if you're watching The Pit, you'll understand.
Here we go.
'Cause baby, you're gonna be the one that saves me.
This is not a deep.
You heard this song before?
Wouldn't it be cool? What if they sang this like at a soccer match or something?
You know what? There might be something to that collective energy to be harnessed, maybe in like a celebratory nature.
I like it. I like it. So deep. That is Oasis. Now, these are all the nominees. Like, who knows who will actually get in? I would say, like, Lauryn Hill should get in. Billy Idol should get in. Maybe Wu-Tang Clan should get in. Luther Vandross. Shakira, Sade, Pink. I don't know about Pink.
What?
I love Pink. I saw Pink
Throw
at...
your hands up in the air. Come on.
She could wait another year. She could be on the list again.
Have you seen her perform?
Yeah, at Target Field.
She does the scarf
Amazing.
thing.
I know, it's amazing.
I haven't seen it, but
Is
I
that
heard it's
Rock
great.
and Roll Hall of Fame worthy?
I mean, for Showtime value, I
Maybe.
think.
All right, there are the nominees for 2026. That is the lead. We are doing D-Rush Hour News headlines in depth in just a minute. Blois Olson will talk not only about the State of the Union, but his assertion that there is an unlikely national political star in the making right here in Minnesota. We'll talk about who Blois thinks that is coming up.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, I just got an email today that I wanted to tell you guys. I actually should pull that up here. Because my friends at J.H. and Sons are down to the last week. It's the last week of their winter sale. And I've been talking about their winter sale because it's amazing. Like, I went into the store the other day, and it will literally, you'll be like, you got to be kidding me. It's so good. Huge, huge savings on your favorite fall and winter collections. So these are your final days to save. There's not a ton of winter merchandise left, but you should go check it out at the Galleria in Edina and see what is your size or see what might be your style. And while you're there, the reason they're trying to finish clearing this stuff out is because the spring clothing has arrived. And oh, baby, the spring clothing is so good. They've got a made-to-measure event with Canali, which is some of the most beautiful suiting out there. They've got this cotton sort of jersey, breathable, comfortable blazer. Dressing better is what we're doing for the spring and the summer. But dressing better doesn't have to mean like a full-on suit. The guys and gals at J.H. & Sons can help you out. Go see Chuck, go see Bryce, go see Kevin, go see the team at the Galleria in Edina. Sign up for the email list, too. It's jhandsons.com.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife and dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer, out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Jason DeRusha.
You are worth the price of admission every single day because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Rush Hour News headlines going in depth now, talking about the State of the Union, but also talking about maybe an unlikely political star coming out of Minnesota. And I'm going to guess it's not the name that you would be thinking of. Blois Olson, our political analyst here at WCCO Radio, publisher of Morning Take and the suite of Take products, joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline for a D-Rush Hour Take. Hey, Blois.
Hey, Jason.
The State of the Union. The address last night, very long, but backloaded with very inspiring moments of American heroics, for sure. I mean, the TV aspect of this was phenomenal.
No, it was great. It was a patriotic moment of honoring war heroes and people who have sacrificed for our country. Interestingly, those folks got put back later in the speech when the U.S. men's hockey team was at the front of the speech. So there was probably some shuffling you could have done. But, I think there's some, preconceived, predisposed reactions, maybe even pre-rehearsed, Jason, that now come with this annual event.
So locally, the big story, and we started our show today talking about my view that if you would have asked me a year ago, I would say, you know what, I think if you're at the State of the Union, you should be quiet and respectful. And today, I got to say, it didn't really bother me that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar yelled back when Donald Trump was talking about Somali pirates. There's a certain point where it's like, why do we expect the elected officials to have decorum when the president is saying the kind of stuff he's saying? Does anyone lose in this battle, or do they both get what they want out of this?
No, exactly. They both get what they want, Jason. I mean, this is what I mean by pre-planned, pre-rehearsed disruptions. It is the noise that fuels their bases. Okay, so Ilhan Omar's clips and then her residual media today, CNN and other places, fuels her base. I will see a fundraising email or two from her about how she stood up to the president and 2 people killed, citizens killed in her district within the next 24 to 36 hours. Similarly, President Trump gets a certain amount of juice and cred with his base. That's the noise that fuels A, the media, B, the base. And both of them have to play to their base because ultimately that's where they get their energy. That's where they can sustain their campaigns. And frankly, that's easier than trying to actually solve big problems.
Yeah. What's the big signal for you out of the State of the Union address?
You know, one thing is just who doesn't watch anymore. So the party that is not in the presidency doesn't really watch anymore. And the idea that we now have alternative State of the Union events, kind of like alternative Super Bowl halftime shows, is another example of kind of the multi-channeling of America. Your algorithm or whatever you tune into is how you get your news, how your brain thinks what's real and what's not. And so the interesting thing is those who watched the speech liked it, but more Republicans watched it than Democrats, and more independents watch it than Democrats. So that's what ultimately we ran into.
You mentioned the alternative State of the Union events, and the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, was speaking or attending or a little of each at one of those events. You wrote in a special piece last night for your insider subscribers about the political future of Jacob Frey. Give me a little sense for because I thought your analysis was very interesting.
Well, this is just a lot of reflection over the last few months and weeks. I mean, if you go back to 2017 when he and Melvin Carter were elected as the boy mayors, it was clear that Melvin Carter had more raw political talent. Jacob Fry had the bigger city. Then you look at St. Paul's challenges, a data breach, some kind of after effects of George Floyd, rent control, and then you look at Jacob Fry's challenges, George Floyd, a challenging city council, ICE occupation, and you start to see that Jacob Fry has really been a guy who has stood the test of time. He's said this is his last term as mayor. He hasn't talked about higher office, but you look at this and tried and true, you could see where his name and the fact that he's in the middle of the DFL, he's not a moderate by any means, but he's a moderate within the DFL party, that positions him as somebody who's tested to maybe run for statewide office in the future. And that's not a thought that we had even 6-8 months ago when it looked like he might be defeated by Omar Fateh. And on the flip side, Melvin Carter had a late challenger from Mayor Kali Her, and he lost to her. And it just goes to show how quickly the tides and the mood of the voters can change. And the idea that Jacob Fry has been tested, no matter what you think about him, he has shown political resiliency, and not a lot of people could do that through the events that he's experienced.
No. And look at the elections he won. He won an election after that defund the police standoff in front of his condo, after the George Floyd protests and riots, and he won after this sort of leftist swing around the country. It's been remarkable. To me, I think, and you look and say, okay, what is the lane for him? Statewide office, maybe. Right. Frankly, I think if he ran for U.S. Senate, not that they need another candidate in that race, but he would have a very good shot, I would think.
It'd have an impact. And the difference is that you look at the voter trends in Minnesota, and Democrats still have an edge. Now we are in an election year, and we'll see. But if he gets through the democratic process, that means he's got an edge statewide. It's within his own party that he would have the biggest challenge.
Right, for sure. Really interesting stuff. People can sign up for the Minsider, MN Cider Fluence Brief at the Daily Agenda. And Blois Olson, we always appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I appreciate you too, Jason. Talk to you soon.
Blois Olson, he'll be on tomorrow morning with Vanita. Next up for us, enough. Maybe you've had enough talk about the State of the Union. That's fair. 651-461-9226. What have you had enough of? Next here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
Uber is making a big investment in a charging network for its future autonomous vehicle fleet. The company says it's going to invest $100 million into a fast charging station network, initially targeting San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Dallas. Uber says it's planning to offer autonomous rideshare services in at least 10 cities by the end of this year, as it looks to catch up to Waymo while Tesla tests its robotaxi. I'm Jason Brooks.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years. But I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for 35W northbound as you move between County Road 10 and Highway 10. 10 westbound jammed up as you come up from 694 to 35W. West 94 slow through Maple Grove, Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. And then some congestion again as you make way toward Rogers and Highway 101. 394 eastbound, that's slow as you move between Highway 100 and I-94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We could see a few scattered flurries, most of that snow up in northern Minnesota overnight. 15 will be the low. Partly cloudy with a high of 40 tomorrow. That's back above average. Mid-40s likely on a breezy Friday. Now, we do chill this weekend with a pretty good chance of snow across southern Minnesota on Saturday.
Right now in Brooklyn Park, it's 22 degrees. Enough! What are you fed up with? It's 651-461-9226.
Jason DeRusha.
I have never really been a fan of his, but the truth of the matter is the guy really does care. My opinion has completely changed about the guy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
All right, let's go. Let's send some laughs. Let's send some joy. Let's send some frustration out into the universe. It helps to release it. Set it free. 651-461-9226. What have you had enough of? Some text already getting us started. Someone has had enough of the 1029 HD2 signal being down. Me too. I love listening to WCCO radio on the HD signal. My voice sounds amazing in high definition FM radio. Amazing. I actually know a woman who left her husband once just hearing
what?
The sound of my voice.
The lore. What?
Through 1029.
I wish I was that inspirational.
HD2.
I didn't even know we had that channel.
Yeah. Right.
Is that bad? I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. It's a different tonal quality than the AM.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, honestly, I do like listening to a little bit of scratch in my signal.
Sure.
A little bit of that AM noise.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little more resonance, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Frequency.
But, we're working on it. I'm told someone is going to the transmitter site on Friday.
The climber?
The climber.
I would do it.
The climber is going to the transmitter site on Friday. You might be wondering, Jason, why not until Friday? I assume it's difficult to get the guy. You know what I mean? Have you been like OSHA trained to?
Oh, you need training?
Probably.
I was just looking for, a slightly supportive upward walk.
Yeah.
I trust the equipment.
I believe in you.
Should I try?
Climbing the trends?
Should I just show up and see what happens?
No. I mean, I'd love to get that thing going. So, what have you had enough of? Text messages already coming in. Lindsay has a few. I have a two.
I have two as well.
My first enough is the people who say, I'm never listening again because of one thing that you disagree about. We have such an intolerance for disagreement, and we're like, that's it. DeRusha, you said this. I'm never listening again. And isn't life boring to be surrounded by everybody who thinks like you or says the same things you do? I was talking to my wife last night at dinner and getting her reaction on a couple of topics, like topics that I would do on the radio. And my wife is, as you would imagine, is an incredibly understanding human being. Because our first date was at a church polka festival in the basement of a Catholic church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And she was understanding enough to say, sure, I'll go to the church polka festival with a meat raffle. I knew the band.
What kind of meat did you take home?
We didn't win. Yeah.
Oh, you won in other ways, Jason.
I've been winning that meat raffle of life. But my wife, instead of like me saying, because I was just running a bunch of topics, I did like the locker room topic, the president locker room topic. And, she had a different view of mine, but her view was very soft and understanding and understated. And I'm like, this show would be so boring. Like, you have no take on anything. She's like, I do risk analysis for a living. Like, you think Alyssa's going to have some boiling hot take? And the less she wanted to engage, the more I wanted to sort of get her going.
That's such a fascinating dynamic that your marriage sounds like.
Yeah. If Alyssa hosted this show, it would just be like a lot of love, a lot of understanding, and a lot of like 5-word answers to questions. That would be it. It'd be a tough deal to fill 3 hours, I suspect.
Lots of people think they can do it.
I don't even know if I can do it. So I'm never listening again. I'm done again.
That's it.
The intolerance of being with anyone that you disagree with, enough. I've had enough of it. 651-461-9226. Lindsay, what have you had enough?
Are we going every other? Is that how this is going?
Well, you can go one, and then we'll do text, and we got a lot of text coming in. So you might not get to number 2.
That's okay. So I'm going to pick the big one. I'm going to pick the kahuna.
Let's go.
I've had enough of centering men, people. A choice that with the right amount of dedication can become a lifestyle, Jason DeRusha. I'm a few years removed from learning about the 4B movement, and I'll tell you there's nothing like calling your money, your thoughts, and attention from people, organizations, or cultures that don't champion your respect and safety. You may be shocked to learn about all the things. About yourself if you stick to that commitment. I certainly learned a lot. But if you've missed the example that this is inspired by, you can check out pretty much all of recorded history because only certain people record their histories. And, we have the U.S. men's ice hockey team who can't really be the heroes they think because it does just take one action to define your character. It's a slippery slope, which I referenced earlier. Again, find that podcast on the Odyssey app. It's a slippery slope. And for people that don't get it, I don't really have time to bring them along anymore. So I've never been more proud of my life decisions than I have in the last few days. And I'm just, like I said, I'm in a transformative state. And the more that is confirmed to me, the better I feel.
So I don't want to interrupt because people get mad when I interrupt.
They do get mad about that.
But you know why I interrupt? Because like we have times to hit and it's my show.
That's true.
I'm centering myself, not men.
Yep.
Just centering me. 4B movement is no sex, no dating, no marriage, no child.
Yep. Came out of South Korea a few years ago because you think the gender relations are bad here. It's really bad over there.
Thank you. I mean, the beauty of enough, like we don't have to argue about it. You just get to get it off your chest. Also, I will say for men, it is a useful skill to have.
Decentering?
Well, sure. Yes, but I was going to say yes and to just let a woman say whatever she thinks and not tell her why you think she's wrong. Just let it happen.
Preach.
And then maybe like later you'll think about it and be like, oh, interesting.
Maybe they want to go to a meat raffle with you. You don't know.
You never know. 651-461-9226. I've had enough of people driving behind me when I'm backing out of a parking spot. Oh, man. You know what? Parking lot etiquette in this country, it is time. I would not be opposed if the government said, new rule. When you go to renew your driver's license, we're stepping outside in the parking lot and you got to back out of a space and you've got to drive around this parking lot and not be a jerkwad. People are tailgating, and especially there are certain parking lots which are the worst. Costco.
Yep, right there.
Trader Joe's parking lots
yes.
and Whole Foods. What is it about Trader Joe's and Whole Foods parking lot? Is it the lot design or is it the type of person who shops there? But those lots are a train wreck.
They are.
But people like follow, like I'm going to take your spot and I don't want to let anybody else in. And then you get so close you can't back your car out. Annoying. Enough. It's a great.
Enough.
I've had enough of trimming my toenails, says a texter. I mean, you don't have to, I guess.
It's a lot of keratin.
Even reaching them seems like an effort. And then I see some people can put their foot in their mouth, and I think life isn't fair.
Oh.
Huh.
Everybody's got a thing.
Enough. Yeah.
Enough of it.
So I'm not going to disagree because that's not the point of this segment, but I will say I do like it if someone can put their foot in their mouth. Like that is a show of flexibility that I think is to be saluted. Now, can you put your foot in your mouth?
No,
Have you tried?
I've tried. I have a pretzel body to begin with because I played goalie, and so like my legs go out.
You played goalie?
I played goalie. I don't know if you've heard that.
I can.
Yeah, I can't do them inside. If you're not on YouTube watching this, you're really missing out part of the art form.
Lots of good text coming in. Let's break. Okay. Even better than the toenail trimming. Sick of toenail trimming guy. There's Livia might be a useful thing if you can't reach your toenails. I'm just saying. Drive time back in just a minute. 651-461-9226. What have you had enough of?
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO, where Minnesota checks in.
Thanks for having me on. Love your show.
I wish more people listened to get the balance.
And chimes in.
I have had enough of this government. Republicans like to say the law and order.
It's your turn.
Let ICE do their business. We don't want criminals. I've heard this in the news.
Anger makes you stupid.
Add your voice to the mix. The CCO talk and text line 651-461-9226.
The world is being taken over by big red checks. I'm telling you, it's Jason for my friend Chris Lindahl. You know arms wide out. You know the billboards. You've seen Chris Lindahl perhaps on video handing out big red checks to people all over the Twin Cities. It's pretty fun stuff. Chris shows up, and I find it actually a little emotional. You see the guaranteed cash offer, and you think, okay, this makes sense if you're trying to sell your house quickly or you don't want to deal with the hassles of the open market. But when you see Chris delivering that guaranteed cash big red check to people, you realize this is a life-changing moment for people. We all know the old way of selling a house is broken. Chris knows that people want speed, they want convenience, and they don't want the uncertainty of listing on the open market. Especially this time of year in the winter, who wants to have an open house? Who wants the sleepless nights or the headaches or paying agent commissions? You want a big red check. Chris is one of us. He's from Minnesota. He's a friend of mine. He's taken care of my wife and I and our real estate needs for years. Apply for your guaranteed cash offer. Get your big red check today. Do it at chrislindahl.com, or you can call 763-401-SOLD.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefit.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old, so.
And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
It's a little bit of congestion, North 52, Plato to 94 over in St. Paul. And the Highway 100 northbound slows as you approach 94 split. And if you're going to be traveling North 169, not too bad, actually, as you come up from 94 heading up into Champlin. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get ready to say fins up and relax at Margaritaville Beach Resort in Fort Myers Beach and Compass Hotel in Naples, Florida. Reserve your spot at MargaritavilleResorts.com. Enter promo code WCCO for this exclusive deal. Only available at these two Margaritaville locations. Your ultimate getaway awaits.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Margaritaville, Fort Myers Beach, and Compass Hotel in Naples. Tonight, low of 11. Tomorrow, it's 40. Friday, it's 45. Right now, it's 22 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's quick get your enoughs. David in St. Paul. We're running short on time, David, but go for it. What have you had enough of?
Jason, quickly, I hear Vanita talk about John Schuster, don't take the guaranteed offer, and then 2 hours later you do a commercial of the guy with the arms, and then the last one is?
It's not my favorite, David.
I hear a Geico commercial, and then the next one's a Progressive.
Our ad department has to get it together. Get it together. Thanks, David. Jeff in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, you've got 20 seconds. Go.
I've had enough of reaching out. Everybody wants to reach out. I made one phone call, a sales call.
You know what? I'm
just
going to...
Everybody's going to reach out to me. I'd rather prep for a colonoscopy than hear that again.
Very good. Very good. Jeff, excellent. Excellent. So many good enoughs. The city of Champlin not wanting to fly the state flag. That's an enough. Had enough of controversy, enough of custom license plates, too. We've had enough of this show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Jordana here, inviting WCCO listeners to join me on an adventure to the Glacier Yellowstone